Call to order. Okay, discussion and possible action to approve minutes of February 27th, 2024, regular meeting. I have a motion.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
second. Call for vote.
Lamar?
Yes.
Smith? Malore?
Yes.
Let's do roll call real quick.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't on my agenda, sorry.
That's all right. Malore?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Lamar?
Here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, petitions from the audience. We have Joel Bowling for a petition. Come right up to the microphone and
Time first off, and I
Sure.
want to thank y'all for your service. I've been here, I know what it's like to do this. So I'm just questioning what the plans are for my ditch. Like I told you the day, the standing water is what's worried me right now. And I never saw at all last summer, it quit having water in it. It never completely drained. I'm just worried about mosquitoes. I know the rest, it takes time to get the money to do it and all that. I'm aware of that. But I'm just, is there anything to be done about the water so there's not standing water for mosquitoes? Because I think mosquitoes are getting worse everywhere every year. I have bug lights out, I spray that ditch, I keep it mowed. Anybody that's ever come by and see I take care of it, I don't let it just go wild, so it's not. And, you know, I know you said there's been grass and such. It's not my grass, so I can't take blame or
yeah,
anything about it.
yeah.
But I just wondered what the plans are going forward in the ditch. It seems like since they did that below the school with the rocks and the baskets, there's always water there. And I don't know if it just drains more water from the school now or what, but I'm just concerned about the water standing.
Sure.
And,
Have you been down and looked at it?
I haven't. Nope, not yet. South Oklahoma. Yeah. Buddy, do you have
Well, I mean,
anything one way or the other, I guess?
well, no, I know one thing, when the school built all that extra stuff, especially with the softball fields and stuff, I know that it puts more water back there on that. I know at one time, like I said, I talked to Larry about, that area back in through there. And we talked to Steve, but I don't think there was, as far as I know, nothing was ever brought up. Because the first part of that was done up through there after Jackson gone, and we just had a hot July, and we had it written down to go do, so we went down, cleaned it out, put the blocks in, concrete bottom, ran there as far as we could go, and then there was supposed to be another project to come back in, that where that wall was, they were supposed to get more water, where it would drain a little bit easier. But again, you know, one of the problems that we have is the beavers out there on that far side. You know, we have permission to go out there to, dig them out, you know, haul the debris and stuff off, but that's one of our, I won't say one of the biggest problems is just getting into there to be able to dig that out for that water to go down. But I mean, that's also in the county, it's not inside city limits. So we have permission to go through and keep the beaver dams on, to try to get the water, you know, to stay down, but we don't. And that was supposed to be another thing that we discussed, was about getting with, I guess it was Bruce, to get in there to see if there's something that we could open that up, you know, do something where we can maintain it, because we don't have anything big enough that you could reach out there to open. I mean, backhoes is all we have.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, as far as I know, that was all, it was discussed, there was nothing ever grew up about it. I know it's something that, you know, we talked about, that's the only thing that's gonna solve the problem, is getting in there and being able to have that all opened up, cleaned out. Even if it's you know, get around for like a temporary easement where you're lawfully get in there and work on it. But you're gonna have to have some equipment, I mean, to be able to get in there, so it's probably gonna have to be you know, some type of contract job, or somebody to come in there with a dozer or something for you know, a large track hoe or something where they can maneuver around there to get cleaned up. I mean, that's, because all we can reach is just right there on that one edge, and we try to keep that cleaned out. But I mean, that's all we can do right now. We tried getting out there throwing that inch and a half works for some, but when you start moving around, the next thing you know, it's
It's
a
sinking.
nasty silt.
Yeah.
And we almost got that thing out there, we didn't think we was ever gonna get it back out. But I mean, it was talked about, because when they done that, when they cleaned that out, we was wanting to come back behind there with the blocks that we had, and clean that all out, get a pump truck, cause the only way you're probably gonna pour the bottom of concrete, and then come back and set a block all the way down on that back side for that drainage, but, that was the last.
The backside, which is the north and the east, just got one layer of blocks. Water has been over the top of them.
Yeah.
That's something. It gets that deep in there sometimes.
Hmm.
Well, I know Bruce went out there and he shot 8 beaver here a while back.
Oh, man.
It's just,
They're back again now, though.
yeah, we went out there and dug 3 of them out the other day, before it had a chance to rain. But the problem is right there where that fence comes right behind that last lady's house. From that point on back that way, that all turns back just into county, and that's private property. But we do have an agreement that we go through beaver dams, but we can't get out far enough to get all the ones out into the middle. I mean, it just needs to be cleaned out.
Right.
There's so many beaver dams out in through there that, it doesn't, it backs the water up. The only thing, when it builds up, then it's gotta come around over on the far east part of it before it'll go all the way down and drain out.
Mayor, would you check with infrastructure with Dale? When I first came on, I saw plans to concrete that all the way from the school and concrete all the way down and make a holding pond down at the end. And I had them, but I don't know what happened to them.
I'll ask them if there's something out there, but I don't,
Cause it said, if I remember right, it said it was supposed to have been done and scheduled for 2025.
yeah. There's
You'd ask
nothing,
and see.
there's currently nothing pending or out there, but I'll ask them if there was ever discussion.
Yeah, there was some plan, cause I had them at one time.
Previous administration, there was a set of plans for it. That's what-
Mayor, there is a plan for that. I have a copy of it.
Can you provide that?
Yes, I can. I can't tonight,
Sure. No.
but it was an engineering preliminary plan drawn up, a cost estimate anyway, by Mr. Powell, and I wanna say it was in 21 or 22.
Sure.
And the whole estimated cost of it was, I think, $800,000 total, with what his idea was based on those numbers back then.
Well, and I think, am I okay to speak? I'm in this seat, so I gotta make sure.
That's right.
Make sure you speak into the microphone for me.
I got mine right here. Let me just let everybody know, there are a lot of those kind of, we call them visionary plans that are out there for all these visions that we had, but they weren't ever anything that ever came to fruition. We still, because the vision was sent to an engineering concept, we have to pay for that. That's what a lot of those are. But provide it, we'll look at it, I'll talk to Dale, but I will tell you, in terms of projects on the go, projects in the chute, there's nothing for that right now. So whatever could have been, look at it and see what we can do is exactly that. It's just to look at it and see what we can do, so. And there's a lot of those in that.
Now, the plan, their concept plan on engineering cost, like I said, it was around $800,000 if I remember right. And I don't remember what all that entailed. It probably entailed a very thorough, job, and $800,000 is a lot of money that we do not have. But is there anything that, can we consider putting it on this year? Because this is the second year that the neighbors, that I know of, second spring, that the neighbors are complaining about this down in that area.
We
But
can look at
we put
it.
it on our plan to at least see what we can do to get somebody in there to clean the brush out and the silt and whatever it needs to be done through to where it drains back into is it the Taylor property, I believe? That we could do to try to help alleviate some of that problem and thoroughly clean it out without necessarily putting on fancy concrete.
I think step one is bring what you've got. I'll reach out to Dale and we'll go from there.
I think that's probably the same one I had that he's got. But
I don't know.
saw, it was a good plan, and it was
Well, let's-
concrete ditch, I mean, it
Let's
was
just do
work.
that. Let's start there. I don't wanna make any promises we can't or get hopes up, but, we also spray that area. Won't say with what, but we do spray that area pretty good, so, it's all safe. So,
I'm worried about, that is my property right there, I know that, I keep it up.
Yep.
There's a 55-foot easement there on the north side, 50-foot on the east side. So I know that, that's why I keep my part up. I can't say anything about the neighbors down the stream, anything, but I'm worried about, there's always kids down there playing, especially when the water gets deep and fast. And I try to run them off, but they come back.
Well, just down from your house, there's a full-size mattress laying there in the middle of it. Somebody threw out.
I haven't seen that, I hadn't.
I saw it the other day, yesterday, I think day before yesterday.
Well, see, something like that, we've already had a talk with the neighbors down through there. They're supposed to not put anything down by the creek.
Yeah,
No
that
more
ain't,
dumping grass, no more, cause he threw some pallets out there the other day when he did some yard work.
yep,
Well, we went down there and cleaned that out, so I called code enforcement. He went down there and told them they need either move or fine it. The next time there's no gonna be no.
Maybe
no
put a
warning.
sign, no
It's gonna be
dumping.
a ticket because they dump a bunch of that stuff.
May make
When
that
the grass
suggestion.
gets back here, it builds up against that fence and everything stops, and that's one of the problems right there, because of the trees that's in through there. It catches all that debris, it holds that water back. So, anytime you hear back or you see something, holler at me and I'll call Trent. I mean, they're gonna have to get written a ticket or something so they'll understand.
of course, you're not gonna be able to prove where that mattress come from, but
what's behind
we
the
hadn't
house.
had high enough rain for it to wash down, because it's just there lately, cause I go out there all the time.
I haven't seen it, so I didn't.
Well, the guy didn't say anything, we went down there the other day, so I don't know if it's something.
They might not have seen, they're not far enough down to seen it, but I saw it laying out there in the,
Well, I'll go down and look tomorrow.
all right, well, you can't get in there.
But I know
It's
that
wet.
the Taylors have been cooperative in the past about allowing Buddy's crew to get in there back into the pond where all this drains to, and I'm sure that they will continue to be.
Sure.
Appreciate it, thank y'all.
Thank you, Joel.
Bet, Joe. Okay. Buddy.
Short and sweet. I mean, there's a lot of little things been going on, but just our major stuff that we've done here. Here lately, we just about got over off Spruce Court. We've got a few more pours over there to do, and then that thing that'll be done. I know that was one of the streets that was neglected here a while back, when we was doing, contracted out, we had that whole area down through there, but that road, it was alligated some, but it really wasn't that bad. So we've gone in there, and I think we've done 4 pours right now, and I think we've got 2 more left. We got one scheduled for Monday to pour. We've been working on the skateboard park, helping Frank. We've done 3 pours on that. I think we've got, 4 left. We've been trying to do 1 a week, but it hadn't worked out here this late, because I've got, get out and do some of my stuff. Finally got the sweeper, it's up and going. We run it for a little over a week, and, trying to get things caught up with that. It's still gonna take us a little while to get everywhere.
Yeah.
But then again, once we went down through there, people come right behind us and mowed and blew everything out in the streets. So, we had some requests for some sign poles over on 14th and 15th. When we do get high water through there, we put some flashing lights up through there on stop signs. Let people know, so give them more of a warning. I mean, everybody in that area knows if we get a large rain, that does run down Fairland Street. We've done some asphalt repair on Clayton. The mayor, he brought it to my attention. Like I said, I guess it was one of those areas we had sought out that we was gonna repair, but I guess, like I said, I'll get to that here in just a minute, but, on Clayton Road, we had an area, we had dug out through there. And I guess apparently and I guess you can't really keep them off of it. I mean, that's one way they travel, but you get some of the 10-wheelers with construction and everything's going through there. Well, that road, that's what's going on with it right now, because they're driving on the sides of the road, and it's just an old and chip road. And it's just tearing up. So we've done some repairs on that. If we get part of this, or one more setup on this skateboard park, we're gonna go down and get some asphalt. Talked to Jesse out there this week, and we're just gonna find some areas out there on Clayton and dump them out and roll it over the holes and everything, and then just roll it down. Patching potholes, been trying to do some permanent fixes on those. We doing some drainage work on Oakwood out there by Big Bellies. We got looked it up, we do have an easement there on the east side of the road back behind there, there's a pipe. And I guess that drainage that's coming back in behind them apartments, I guess there are apartments back through there, that this last winter, I guess it come through and when somebody put a pipe in back behind there for, I guess more or less for trash or whatever, they made kind of a horseshoe turnaround. Well, that water from that drainage from them apartments, that was where it was at. Well, it blocked that and everything was running down. It wasn't going down in the ditch. It was running out, straight out into the road, and there was 4, 5, 6 inches of ice over that one section. So, and I didn't realize that was actually ours until we got to looking it up. So we're going to redo that ditch out through there that comes out of that drainage to take it over to the fence and let it run down there, because it looks like a natural drainage that comes through there. So we're gonna run all that water over there. It will be on the north side of that pipe, so it won't run down. It'll actually be going in the ditch, and it won't be running out there on top of the road.
That particular place you're talking about, is that to the north and west of the new apartments in the district?
Well, it'd be the west end, right behind Big Belly's.
Okay, right behind.
Yeah, there's a drainage that comes all the way down through there.
Okay.
And what that is, it's.
Oh, I know which apartments you're talking about along Oakwood there.
Yeah, well, these are the new ones that they built out there.
Okay.
All the new ones. And you can see where they've made their drainage, it comes behind them, and they made the water to drain back to Oakwood Road. And you can get, if you pull down back behind Big Belly's, you can see a little concrete drainage out through where the pipe coming out. And what that is, it was made to drain right out to the ditch. Well, then I guess when they come in and put a pipe in, it blocked the water and it run everything over the pipe.
So when they start their phase of building all the houses out there, is that gonna possibly mess up or interfere with this drainage that you've got there?
No, you talk, on Oakwood?
No, at the district.
It'd be east of the 530 apartments.
Yeah, to be east, yeah, so it won't mess with anything. It's, everything they've got there now, it's,
No, I'm talking about the new.
yeah, now the new ones, I mean, if they build those, they'll probably incorporate that to run through the same way. But hopefully with what we've got it set up now, that it's made to go into the ditch. It won't, it's not just to go over the pipe and run out into the road. So hopefully that'll take care of it. Cause I mean, we can only go back so far as the drainage easement that we have, and anything past that, we don't have. But also, I don't know if y'all are aware of it, but there's a construction company out on Gaither Road out through there.
Yep.
And I know it's in the county, and I knew nothing about it, and I don't think the mayor knew anything, nobody. And come to find out, I mean, yes, on that east side of the road out there on North Gaither, yeah, that is the county, so I guess they don't have to notify the city of Forest, I guess, of anything or any proceedings, but the only way that they can get to and from, and that's driving on Gaither. And I do believe that when they was moving that equipment in, again, it's just my word against theirs, but I think that's why that one section fell apart. That road there at Gaither's not really made for that heavy equipment, but they're gonna be, what I understand, they're building apartments or houses from Gaither almost all the way to Keels Road. So there's gonna be a lot of construction, and that's the only way, as of right now, that they got in, they can get in and get out. So that first section there, from there down to the soccer fields, I have a feeling that if they can continue driving on it, I mean, it's just gonna tear it up. So there may be some repercussions, that, the world have to do something, meet up and say, hey, if y'all tear this up, you're gonna have to pay for it. Cause we're getting with the REC, cause the same way, bringing all their trucks in, those heavy trucks, that's one of the problems we have too, is that road is just not.
Yeah.
If we do anything, I mean, if we can get, with REC and whatever we can do to everybody get together with it and go in together, then actually come in there and redo the base on that road and do, a good 5 or 6 inch overlay on it, then that'll hold for no telling how long. But, cause like I said, that's always just been a county road. There was nothing, we come in and had a, two-layer, oil and chip on it. It's all we've ever done to that road. So, but that's a lot of traffic and stuff down there, but I just have a feeling once they get down there and start driving those dump trucks and anything else bringing in, when they start pouring concrete, I mean, that road's, it's just not gonna hold up. But other than that, that's kinda all I got.
Okay. Super. Any questions on that, anybody, or? Okay. All right. Next one is discuss possible recommended council action regarding outstanding infrastructure invoices. I guess they're attached in our group here.
Is anybody from infrastructure is gonna be here to answer questions about these?
Nope.
Well, I went through and looked at some of these,
Get a motion first.
Oh,
or looked at all of them, I guess.
we need a motion to discuss? Okay. May I have a motion to discuss?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, call for vote.
We're discussing.
Oh, we're just discussing. Okay.
Wait.
Do you still get the vote to discuss?
You're good to discuss.
Okay.
Well, again, I went through there and I was looking at these, and there's one that, the first one, the Gaither Road study, I do remember that one there. Again, there was nothing ever paid on this one. And then this one for the, 2021 street rehabilitation, there were some that had been paid on that, but there, I guess, like I said, there was never any, final payment, I guess, that was sent, for that one. The drainage easement on Seventh Street, I remember talking with that because we was trying to get over to the, that hotel that was up through there, because see, we don't, the only easements we have there off of Seventh Street, it goes back over behind, Vi, I think is the name of that. It goes back behind their building, but then when it goes back towards west, the hotel person, I can't remember, Jay, I think is his name, from there all the way up to the highway, that the, hotel and, Goldie's, that's, there's no drainage easement through there, and I remember that we was talking about coming through, that need to be cleaned out before anything can be done through there, so what we was gonna do was come through, and, I mean, if he was willing to give up easement for that, a permanent easement to do that, then, but I do remember that one. Dog Pound Road Bridge replacement, I do remember that one there. That's the one where, not infrastructure, I can't remember the contractor now that done that, but that was the last part that we was,
Bo said he was part of that one.
yes, there was like, part of it, and like I said, part of it was paid, but there never was a final invoice that was sent in for the last part that was owed. And the Salt Branch now, a lot of with those, Mr. Lees was, him and, was working on that, North and Third and East Manor.
Mayor, are these just partial bills whenever you finish paying, is that what this is?
Yeah, some of those, some of them, it's, committee, it's a whole slew of situations, mainly things that were, like if a project was done and something needed to be tacked onto the end, or partial payments, if you read your second sheets, it'll kind of give you page 2 of all of them will give you a rundown of what's been paid, what's been done.
Yeah.
What's left. So it'd be my recommendation for tonight would be to, figure out what we wanna take care of first, how we wanna attack these. You know, all this work was done and assigned out to Infrastructure Solutions at some point.
And I know since these are so late, I don't know if there's any type of law on that, but I won't say my recommendation, since it has been such a long time for that and money hasn't really been actually budgeted in there, I just say that we'd put, just whatever the total is and offer to pay half and be done with it. that'd be mine, cause I mean, this is,
Well, that could be a reasonable move, at half our fault, half their fault.
well, like I said, I know, cause some of these here was down through there, and like I said, in the past blankets, because a lot of times what I would do on the blankets, we would figure out, we would know, I would have a blanket purchase order made up. Cause usually when there was an invoice that would come in, I mean, Steve Powell, the way it worked, he would go over the total contents of what everything was in there. And then if everything looked good to him, he would sign it, then he would send it to me, then I'd go over the numbers and look and see what everything. And then if I agreed, then I would sign it, then we would turn it in to pay it. But see, a lot of these, it looks like that it was just a failure, of a final invoicing is what it looks like. Cause that's most time, like, even with a construction or a private contractor, when they come in and do work, you know, everything's held back till the final payment or whatever. When we do a walkthrough and everything's done, then there's a certain percentage that's held back. So, but I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, if that's something that y'all would think about, or I mean.
That would take your 54,850 to 27,425.
Say that again.
So right now, your packet has 54,850 in it.
Yep.
And we would basically, according to what Buddy's proposing, we would see if, basically 27 and a half would be acceptable to settle on.
Will Dale go for that?
Do what?
Will Dale go for that?
I think Dale would be open to having that discussion. If you guys are okay with that, I will definitely have that discussion with him.
I wished he would have been here to have that discussion. But
Well, I don't know that you guys are
I think
really.
if somebody owes you $54,000, that you'd be here about it.
Well, you would think, but the idea is I didn't invite him because you guys gotta figure out what you're gonna do with it first, before that. I mean, Dale, we could sit here and go through every element of every one of these, and that's absolutely pointless at this point. What we need to do is figure out a game plan, same thing that I told the Park and the Recs board. Get a game plan, how you guys want to approach this.
Yeah.
And we go from there, and then we present that to Dale.
Cause I don't know, I haven't seen any invoicing yet for this,
Current projects?
current project or street repair or street project or anything else. I haven't seen any type of invoicing. Cause usually we always got them kinda on a regular basis, just every 2 or 3 weeks, he would send one in. So I don't know if there's any,
They might give it to us in 2027.
well, like I
No,
said.
I believe some of those have been sent into our accounts payable website. They're instructed to send those into the accounts payable, so we can check on those pay apps tomorrow.
Okay, because we do have, I mean, like our 5075 street outside services engineering, we have 37,000 in there. And then we have street outside services other that we have for, because if we get a little extra project to come in that we use, we put that back just in case. And we have 30,000 in there that we haven't used yet. So,
What are those numbers again? 30,000 and what else?
it's 37,322, and that's in account 5075. And then we have 30,000 in account 5076.
So about 97,000 roughly.
Well, 67,000.
67,000.
Okay.
And that's what you're proposing to pay it out of.
Correct.
It doesn't hurt to ask, does it?
No, absolutely not. It might only help.
Well, it's a mess. Half of it's their fault for the late billing, and we still owe the bill for doing it. So, for my part, I'd just soon see if he'll take half of it and be done with it, go home.
I will gladly have that conversation if you guys will all give a head nod.
Yep. I think that'd be good. Terry?
I agree.
Okay?
I'll probably bring Buddy in on that, so,
Right.
you know, so, okay.
So do we need that in the form of an official motion language?
No. No, I've got it written down. I mean, if you want to, you can change your motion to, what does it say, possibly
Discuss.
recommend council action.
But you'd want to talk to them before we do that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you want to change the motion to recommend mayor to discuss a payoff plan with Dale.
Yeah, I think that'd be reasonable. Sure.
Yes,
Would you change yours?
yes, I'm
Okay.
in the motion
Sure.
to
Okay,
have the mayor negotiate it. And then forward it to council.
all right.
It's either my way or the highway.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Well,
When you
yeah.
don't ask, then don't get
Yeah,
something
well,
that's your
that's
own
what I
fault.
said. I
I
mean,
like your approach, but other folks may not have that same
yeah,
approach.
Yeah.
no, that's what I tell my kids.
Yeah, I got you. I guess call for the vote there, Zach.
Hang on, let me finish writing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Girls must use abbreviations,
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
so recommend
Good
mayor,
thing those meetings are recorded so you can go back and watch it and write notes and.
right,
Yeah,
recommend mayor to negotiate a payoff deal with Infrastructure Solutions for, you wanna put that dollar amount on there?
Yes,
27,475?
No, 54,850.
no, that's the full.
Oh, the total, but he's
Okay.
doing a percentage, yeah.
Okay, and you both amend your motion?
sure.
All right. Ready for a vote?
Okay, call for a vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Lamar?
Yes,
Okay.
All right, discussion on the drainage ditch on South Elliott Street from southeast 12th to southeast 15th.
Well, what this is, I know there's some pipe there on 15th Street. We done some concrete work over it probably 6, 7 years ago. Well, the pipe, I won't say the pipe was kind of iffy. I mean, it was still good. It had some rust spots in it. But I guess, through the last several years, whatever, it's gotten rusty. I don't know if there's a hole. I mean, there's a lot of leaves that comes down through there on 15th Street, or on South Elliott there on the east side of the road. And I talked to the guys here the other day, and apparently for the last couple of years, which we really didn't have, we'd always been able to get it cleaned out. But I guess apparently they couldn't get it cleaned out. That's before we bought that machine. Well, they had a pipe in there, they had a shovel on it, and they stuck a shovel in there, and now it's blocked.
Oh, gee.
And I don't know, we've tried to get up in there to where that shovel is, and we would run that rod machine up through there. All it would do would get to a point where it wouldn't go anymore. So I'm thinking what it is, that part of that pipe's rusted out and that shovel's hung in there.
Yeah.
And every time we try to run it through there, all it does is catch and push.
Yeah.
It does drain, but even if we didn't try to do everything, I got to thinking about what Lincoln School done out there on that ditch by the school is, if nothing else, not a full project from 15th all the way down to 12th, but even, for as money wise, even if we just 1 year, we went from 15th to 14th, done that ditch. And then next year, we come back and do from 14th to 13th, and then 13th down to 12th. That's the ditches, they're
real
that deep, it's washing out. And seeing that, and I understand it, they're hard to maintain.
Yeah.
I mean, it really isn't. If you try to spray them, and then all you're getting is washouts more and more.
Yeah.
But that's what I was just kind of looking at. I didn't know if we had any other type of drainage we was looking at next year, but, depending on what it would cost, maybe we can do two sections from 15th to 13th this year, and then from 15th to 14th and 14th, 13th, do those two, and then the following year, maybe go from 13th to 12th Street or
Are you
something.
talking about, buddy, a concrete ditch or a pipe and covering it up, or how you figure?
Well, it'd be an open pipe right now. It looks just like they're in front of Lincoln School. They have two head walls on the side and a concrete bottom.
Okay,
And it makes us a lot easier to be able to get in there and maintain. Or like I said, we can get in there with a backhoe, with a smooth mouth bucket, and we usually try to keep it cleaned out. But I know it's something, it's hard to get in there to maintain anything there on that bottom, try to mow, weed, and, but that was just something, I don't know, I was just going down through there, we was talking about trying to get that shovel out, and I kept thinking, well, we need to probably replace these pipe, and I thought, well, if we do that there, and then I got to looking down at Lincoln School, and I thought, well, why not come back and, as we tear that out, go ahead and do the concrete pipe underneath each one of them like they have, all the way down with the concrete drainage, cause then your head walls would come up where all you would have to do is just, there's nothing to weed eat unless you just wanna weed eat along that edge, but it would come up high enough. Or I think there's actually, they got like a 6-inch curb on the backside. So, you know, that would be the only thing that you'd have to weed eat, it would just be that, but everything would be a nice smooth mow out through there. So, you know, and I don't have, this had to be something we did have to check on, for is, pricing, what it would take to have that done, but I mean, it would be an improvement to South Elliott, cause the other side, I mean, we can usually keep the leaves and everything pretty well out of the ditches, they're not really that deep on that other side. But just that one section there from 12th Street down to 15th is, I mean, 2.5, 3 foot deep. And they're just gonna keep washing out, and this way here is secure that road, because eventually when it washes out far enough, then that road base is gonna start giving way, it's gonna wanna start sliding, then we're gonna have to have, road repair on that part, so. That's just my thinking. I was just gonna pass that by you all and see what you thought, if that'd be something worth looking into, or, I mean, we could probably even cover it up if we really wanted to. Just have to have work it out where you could have a clean out spot every now and then.
Yeah.
Cause with that machine, we can go 600 feet. If it's just leaves, I mean, that's not a problem, cause the pipe would be big enough, so I mean, if it was like a milk jug or a ball or something would get down and through there, it wouldn't plug it up.
Would it be better, which way, concrete or pipe covered up, and thinking about expansion of the road further on whenever
Well, I mean, if they was to ever come back to do a widening on that road like they was going to back 10 years ago, you would have basically, I mean, they was talking about doing underground drainage, because they was gonna do, a 4-lane with a turn lane down through there. So, I mean, it would actually go all the way back, all the way back to that sidewalk anyway, is where it would go. So, I mean, if we covered it up, then, I think if they'd ever come in, I think it would be new enough, I don't think that they would actually have to really do anything else to that. I mean, they'd have to, they may have to cut it, to put some drop-ins, if they, where the water would come down on Elliott Street, they'd have to have something for it to run off in. But that's not a big thing for us cutting and putting drop-ins that go into it. But
I'd like to see about getting an estimate, on this and see what money we're talking about.
Yeah. But this would be for this next year, not for this year for anything. We don't have the funds for that, but I mean, I'd like to see something done down through there. And again, it's just, we just gotta look at, cause I know that those pipe up there, and like I said, it's gonna have to be replaced. And the one down there off of 14th, it's not bad, but it's been there for 20-some years, and it's starting to rust. And then the ones down 13th Street, same way, it still works, but they're starting to rust out. So we're gonna end up having to replace them anyway, but I figure, well, if we do something like that, maybe just make a little project out of it to go through and dig it out and put some concrete pipe in it, and, either the concrete ditch like that in front of Lincoln, or again, maybe just, doing the concrete pipe and covering it up.
When I drove down Elliott the other day going to Walmart, I noticed on both sides of the road that a lot of those culverts at each crossing need dipped out. The ditches need dipped out, and a lot of them's clogged up with leaves.
Well, see, that's the thing, everybody down through there right now has mowed their grass, but if you look in front of it.
These are leaves and.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
And
They've went through there and mowed all the ditches, but they will not touch the pipe there in their yard that's right there. That's what I'm saying. There's no leaves in the ditch, but when you get right up to that pipe, what would it take? A couple of minutes to rake them out and mow over them, and, I mean, that's still part of their property to maintain. That's what, but no, it's usually, we go through there usually every year with that sweeper, and we usually try to suck ditches down through there, and then we try to clean the pipes out and everything as we go. But like I said, the sweeper's had been broke down for all that time, so we hadn't had a chance to get out there to even clean them out. But
Do we need to make a motion, refer this to council to see if they want to do a study on it, or?
Well, we need to have a motion to have infrastructure do a cost engineering estimate on it, right?
If you're going to,
Because you're wanting this done for the new fiscal year.
yes, 2025.
So right now, we need to be getting that worked out with them to where we've got a plan for how to put it in your budget.
Yeah, cause
No,
we-
we've got enough time right now, if you guys just wanna, put it on the next street agenda meeting for that approval, we can do that. And we're far enough ahead still.
Yeah, that's like with the overlay, I'd like to get those where we're not waiting around till February to go out for bids. I'd like to get down and figure out how much it's gonna cost, get out for bids and go ahead and start, because then if something does happen, get a lot of rain or whatever, but they're still into the project, working on it to get it done. We're not waiting from February to June to try to get everything done.
So what account would the overlays go into?
Well, the
Right now, we're still on.
Oh, yeah,
number
sorry,
6.
we're still on 6, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I mean, the account would be 5410. I mean, it's
All
showing that
things.
it's overspent, but I don't understand that the numbers hadn't come in or something, like the capital outlay. See, it shows it's over 115, spent over 115,000, but that's not, it can't be, because there was only so much in there, and all we had was 2 dump trucks. So it should be a zero on that one. So I just have to get with Courtney and find out
sure.
why that's showing a negative 192 when it shouldn't be.
All right. So we want to add this on next month's agenda? Okay.
And like I said, these are just a suggestion. I know there's some, Jackson Street, I mean, that's definitely gonna have to have something done. North Whitaker's getting fairly bad.
When you say North Whitaker, from where to where? Highway 20 going all the way
Well,
north?
it's from, I thought I had a from on there. Well, no, that's Southeast 14th from Veda to Elliott. It's North Whitaker, that should be from, what did I say that was? That's from Northwest 4th to Northwest 5th Street.
Just that block.
Yeah, just that block right there. It's pretty bad, because the rest of that other stuff up there, I think it has been overlaid one time, and that one section, for some odd reason, it didn't get done, and it's starting
patchy.
to fall apart, so.
So what action we gonna take on 6?
6, just we can just say, put it on next,
I put a note to put it on the next
so no vote or anything.
The next April street meeting for Infrastructure Solutions to give an estimate,
Right,
and then to have Courtney check the capital account.
right,
Okay.
super.
Right.
On these type of streets, on the asphalt street, is that like a 2-inch overlay typically, or?
Yeah, usually a 2-inch.
Okay,
So they'll put like 3.5 on it, then once it rolls down, it'll be down.
Get down
to
to
2 inches.
two.
I think it rolls a quarter 3/8 every inch, I think's how it compacts.
sure.
On the previous discussion about Clayton Road, do we need to put that on the next agenda to try and figure out some plan to work with this company or an REC, or what are we gonna try and do?
Gaither Road.
Gaither Road, excuse me.
So, the problem we have, kind of going back on that one a little bit, we'll just discuss, right? Because that's where we're at. The problem we have is we've got to figure out, if they're just starting, this is gonna be a pretty big project. I don't know if any of you've looked at it.
I have.
I had like a
I heard
dozen.
right now I heard, so we'll leave it at heard. I called the commissioners, they don't know anything about it. We have nothing about it. Welcome to construction in the county, right? But the individuals that live around there said that it was a house for so-and-so, but where they've put in the road that they're doing, they're a good 18 inches deep. That's not a driveway.
No.
So the only conclusion is we're getting a subdivision in that area. It's, again, county, so it's,
Have they not been talking with MUB about utilities?
I haven't had a chance to talk to Jared about that, but from last time we talked, there's no knowledge of what, so I say, the only thing I heard was so-and-so was, and I'll just leave his name, was building a home back there. So, if you recall, back in previous administration, there was utilities run across there because they were running them to Keel Road. So, I would imagine if they're gonna tap into those, we'll get an answer out of MUP eventually. Not to say that they haven't, that they've withheld anything, but it's a discussion to be had yet. So, this kind of came up at the first of this week, right, over the weekend. There was nothing, and then all of a sudden, there's a bunch of excavating going on. I got a call that the road was torn up, so I drove up there and called Buddy, and I spent a good 20 minutes chunking rocks off the road from where they'd done it, and they went back and fixed it the next morning. Mark blocked it off and fixed it. So we're just getting into this, but the problem again on Gaither Road is we have REC who, you know, Travis, you see it.
Yeah.
They go down that portion we just,
Right.
it hasn't been as much lately. I haven't seen it lately.
Right.
So
Right,
where they're going down there, that southern part of Gaither.
yeah,
I haven't seen REC down there lately. It doesn't mean I haven't seen it. I mean, it's not happening. I haven't seen it.
right.
But these construction guys, you know, it'd be nice if we could say, here's the route we want you to take so you don't tear up our good roads. But unfortunately, we can't really control them that way. Now, we can prohibit large trucks off our roads, but my gosh, that's what we got on our sign on Gaither that says no truck traffic. Not move
Which
through.
way they're coming to that particular road? Are they coming down 20 or are they coming down?
I believe it's a mix. Some are coming down Highway 20. I saw a big hauler truck. It wasn't a small dump truck. It was one of the 18-wheeler size 43-footers coming down Old 20 up over Cemetery Hill. That's not really what we want happening there. But I think they're also maybe coming in from Old Airport Road from the north and coming
North
down.
Coming down, yeah.
Yeah, I just wondered if it's gonna tear up our new part of Gaither Road we just
Well,
laid.
that's really what I'd like to keep them off of, but
Yeah.
again, we can put all the signs in the world and they ain't gonna listen to it, so until we can get serious about how we plan to enforce that.
Yeah.
You know, but,
I'm assuming we've got the authority, if we want to pass an ordinance to put a load limit on it and write them tickets.
well, we do. We do.
But that's the end, I think, maybe.
I don't think that's step number one, but,
Yeah, but we also need to keep in mind that when, you know, we're expanding out and new housing additions are going in out in the country. And therefore, with growth like that comes more traffic on these roads that were built originally as gravel country roads, that nobody was in that section before True View Acres came in and everything. And now when you grow like that, you have to keep up our road infrastructure to keep up with the times and expect that you're gonna have increased traffic, and we need to make sure that we build our roads to last into the future for this
yeah.
growth, because it's coming and we have to maintain it.
Well, I
Whether you
think
like
that's
it
where,
or not.
as we acknowledge that, you know, we're all dealing with what we've been handed, you know, the drainage issues. We know that Pryor, back in the early days, I'm not pointing at you, I'm over your head there. It
Mr.
wasn't,
Brigham.
yes, it wasn't engineered correctly. We didn't take water drainage into consideration. That's why Joel's got issues, we got issues. That's why all down Irving, they're all getting their yard, because it was all built flat. But also, you know, Buddy and I had this conversation the other day. These older roads, like you said, have no base under them. They were just gravel. And so, you know, we are growing. We're gonna see those pains, but we just have to address them, and until we can get our street department the revenues they need to go in and just replace everything, I think maybe we slow our roll a little on some projects and put back a little bit for infrastructure maintenance. Because we're also gonna have 9th Street, 9th and Elliott, that's gonna need some love. I don't know if you guys saw, the engineer was out there today working on that, taking pictures, and he's been out there. Well, he came into Lou's Diner this morning when I was there, and when I picked my daughter up at 3, he was still taking pictures. So, you know, the construction through there is starting to take a good wear on the newer section of 9th Street there. So, you know, just as we go forward, my recommendation is, might be good to not spend everything on projects and put a little bit back, because we're gonna have some good repairs that are gonna be needed. Plus, you've got machinery that's gonna need to be.
And like I said, and this right here, I think a lot of the roads, I mean, yeah, there's some that's bad, but I mean, if we have to go 1 year without like I say, a street project or something, like with the one Jackson Street, to me, that's probably the worst. That's where they built those two new houses over there. I mean, we can go through and, do the base repair, and we can put some asphalt stuff down on it. We can fix the intersections, we can pour concrete around the intersections where the drainage is to help that, I mean, to make it worthwhile, but, and again, we can do that, so that's $500,000 or $600,000, because eventually the sweeper, I was gonna try to put like 200,000 back this year for that, and then the following year, depending on force tax, see how everything goes with that, we may have to put another 150 back, so it may be like 3 years down before we can get a sweeper. But start putting some money back for that, but this next year, we're gonna have to have a roller. Like I said, that one we got, it's 42 years old, and we thought it was caught on fire here the other day, but we just overworked it. It's got a lot of hours. It's, like I said, on different times, so. But I mean, if we have to, we can try to go a year without a street project if we need to, even without a drainage. But I mean, I'm just looking at, like South Elliott, if nothing else, if we could just do a block each year, just do that part, and then next year, go ahead and budget, we got an idea what it's gonna cost, and do one more. I may take 2 or 3 years to get there and to get it all done, but then eventually, then it'll be done, but we're just not forking out, $300,000-400,000 for a drainage project or something.
I noticed one thing that's not on here that people have been raising Cain about for the past couple of years is the old Highway 20 going east of the cemetery.
Is it not on there? Did I not?
No, but as soon as you handed that to me, I wrote it on my copy.
Cause I know there's one I have written from the middle of Cemetery Hill down to Keels
Not
Road.
on ours copy.
Well, I see that now, but I'm sure you pointed it out, but I'm saying there was one that I had that was written on there. So, yeah.
So is that,
Yeah, that's another one that needs to be put on there. Again, it's just depending on what we decide is the worst. If we wanna do that one there, cause see, that's gonna be just a little over a mile. But shouldn't be any milling or anything done to it. That should just be basically an overlay. Cause what it is, just the asphalt is wore out, and it's just starting to break and fall apart, but there's really no base failure out there. So, even if we, like I said, we just done a couple streets, we done that one, cause I mean, that's the one that was supposed to have been put on last year, or year before last, it was taken off. And, but I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem, it's just whatever, we think, basically what we have the money for. I mean, and there's some, like I said, we just have to make do with what we got and do some, just repairs until, like I said, maybe after the following year or something, that way you could have some money put back to see, at one time, we put back it was 3 years, when they was going to 4-lane, South Elliott from 10th Street all the way out to 29th. And we put $750,000 back for 3 years. And I don't know what happened to that money, but that's over $1.5 million, or no, it'd be a little bit more than that.
Two and a quarter.
Yeah, something like that. So, but I mean,
is that sitting there in some fund dedicated for that
Not that I'm
purpose?
aware of. We haven't seen that kind of money sitting over there. I'm sure,
this is back when I think Jimmy was still in,
yeah.
and the state come in. Yeah, cause see, we was gonna do that, and then the state come in, said, well, it's cost more, and then he said, well, we're just not gonna do it. Well, we put that money back all that time, cause that was gonna be our part, the state was gonna furnish the rest of it, so we had to come up with like another 1.2 million or something like that, and, he
It's
said,
gonna
well,
cost a lot more now than it did back 20 years ago.
Oh.
but
So on your Dog Pound Road one, is that
I mean, it's just,
the,
yeah, there's one person that lives down there.
well, I'm not opposed to that at all. I'm glad to see that those kind of more out in the rural areas considered, because they are in the city. But I didn't know if that included, have you driven across the railroad track at 9th Street before you turn, where you need to go south or go north on Dog Pound Road? But right there, just a little bit to the west on 9th Street.
Yeah, there's that
road
section right there
that's
where all
falling
that's
apart.
coming out, yeah. I just put Dog Pound on there,
Okay,
but yeah, no, that little part right there that comes across is gonna be in on that too.
okay.
But I mean, if we have to, now that they do have a plan out here, that, I mean, if nothing else, we can go through there and it won't be the best looking in the world, but I mean, we can, you know, dump some asphalt, spread it and roll it, you know, to fix the real bad spots until something is decided to be done. But I mean, but no, dog pound, I mean, and again, I know it's down in the floodplain, but usually when the arms are down on the things or there's a wreck or something and everybody has to go down
Yeah.
to Ninth Street to get across, I mean, that's a very heavily traveled, and we do, and it's lasted longer because we put up a 5-ton load limit down through there. So there's not as very many, the big trucks and stuff going down there, but that's all I got.
All right. Any other discussion on that? Any unforeseen business that anybody had? None for you, Zach? Okay. No? Okay. Well, I guess I got a motion to adjourn.
Well,
or
I
unless
do have a question, sorry.
Okay.
What is the latest on the alley project?
Last I heard or know of is Dale was supposed to come up with an estimate of what it would cost, because he said that the amount and the price, because the price is staying the same, it's not going up or anything. So it's just basically for the amount of how much it was going to be, and that's the last I've heard. And like I said, I know that they come in, and I know that Dunham, I know that they had another job that they had to go to.
Okay.
But, which will become back after that, but I mean, good thing is, I mean, it'll be, you know, we're getting warmer, so it'll be easier to, I mean, for it to put it down, but, he was supposed to get the quantities and estimate the price, and if they agreed with it, then, just have to do it.
And the alley portion that goes by the new apartments of Littlefields there on Ayer Street. Old Western Auto Building, and you go west, right there next to their new building, or to the remodeled building, there's a big cutout right there that's just gravel for
Yeah,
a
that's
big
usually
stretch.
cut.
Okay, but that's gonna be part of the alley
Yeah,
fix?
that's included into.
That was all discussed on when we do
Yeah.
because that section, and then I think there's a big manhole deal that comes up out of there. That's where we talked about on the other side of the road doing the 232 overlay.
Yeah.
And then Mayor, what'd you find out about the gate, or about the Nunley project up there on all that brush that
I called him, that was what, Monday we talked about that? So I called Dale, he was gonna get with him and see, it's a strip, it's like what, 40 feet of one row of trees, little trees, so I called Dale and said, hey, can we just get a price on what that's gonna clear that out, and he said,
it's right in the middle of the new clean
but it wasn't,
ditches on the other side.
to all fairness, it wasn't on the section that they were to remove trees from, but it looks like when, you know, you shave your head and you miss a row, or you're mowing the lawn and there's a strip, it looks tacky.
Yeah.
So I asked Dale if he could get us a price on what it would be to just, while they've got their equipment there, they haven't done the burn pile yet, they could, in essence, in 20 minutes have that cleared out and done, so.
Well, especially if they use that.
Right.
Mulcher.
what you call that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's all.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All right. Call for vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
We're
Adjourned.
Well, Joel, when you retire, how close you getting to retiring?
Probably within a year.
You wanna jump back into this?
I had a problem with my wife did. You know, she worked for Dr. Lindsay and she got hammered down there by people.
Oh, no.
But they never would